Welcome to the Pen and Paper Hive. I am your host, Wolf, and I have been a game master since 2001. As you probably already have noted, I am a German speaking English, so you may have some or get some giggles out of it. But at the current state, I have watched a couple of videos already. Well, I'm following those channels already for a long time, most of them, and now picked it up too with this channel here. And this is mainly the reaction of GNDs or dungeon crafts, how to make online play better. And first my reaction was I had quite a laugh out of it and was like, what the fuck is your problem? But I thought about it and I think the title isn't the correct one, because I think it's more on the line of how do you make your players be decent on an online table as well as offline? It's not about to make online gaming better, because when you look at all the tools and things you have for free, actually, what better is it to get free things? Of course, there's always something to make things better. But the main things are like, how do you make people better? Because this seems to be the main issue, most cases. But all those things we have offline too. Tech difficulties is mostly someone not reading, actually. But having someone that not reads offline will barely do it online. Or take a shower. I mean, I had actually players come to the table and stink like they were showered in shit. Literally. And all those things that you speak with your players and tell them, please take a shower, wear decent clothing, don't come half naked, don't chew with your mouth open, or don't eat loud foods, and all this common stuff which makes an experience on the table not so nice is something we already have for so long here, at least where I am. Of course, there can be cities out there with groups that are horrible to us all. And there will be, of course, groups in the US or whatever English-speaking nation, or what nation ever, that are better than mine. But it's not how to improve online gaming or online pen and paper. There is no direct improvement other than the people having a service running, making it better, because it all comes down to the GM and his or her players. I wrote down a couple of points which I will talk about. The first thing, what I really dislike, is online play is inferior to offline play. The statement was made by Dungeon Craft, and I really dislike that, because there is no inferiority. This is the same with a question like, is now Dungeons and Dragons better, or is it Pathfinder, or is it the Black Eye, or whatever? There is no inferiority or superiority. It's hard to explain, because Dungeons and Dragons was made for a specific target audience, as well as Pathfinder. They are two different systems similar to each other in some way, but still two different systems. So you can't say this one is better, oh, I am looking for huge tactical fights with a lot of possibilities. Then you would say, yeah, Pathfinder 2nd edition is probably the way to go. And if someone says, oh, I need it straightforward, very easy, and with much less complexity, you would probably say something, oh, well, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is superb for beginners and people that don't like this over complexity that Pathfinder 2nd edition introduces. This is, you can't say online play is inferior, because it's not. It's two different things. You have the table play, the offline play, and you have the online play. Nothing is inferior to the other or superior. The next thing is the obvious tech difficulties. In our time, now in the 21st century, tech difficulties slowly pass away. There will always be people with gremlins that are not tech savvy. I mean, I couldn't, even if my life depended on it, put on a server for Foundry Virtual Tabletop. I could not do it. I have someone let it do for me because they are much deeper in that knowledge. I'm not. So tech difficulties. What difficulty is it when I say you have to press a link and that's it? Is it difficult? Probably not. Is it difficult to take 10 minutes of your time, not game time when you sit at the table or the online table, to just configure your TeamSpeak, your Zoom, whatever software you're using? Is that too much ask from a player or for a player? No, it's not, because the same translates to offline. Is it too much to ask for someone to take a shower? I mean, this is something that came up, that will always come up with some groups, and you sit at a table and what's that? Oh man, dude, shower, take a shower. I mean, seriously, you come here and you sit down and you stink? What do we do with those? You bring it up, you talk with them, you say, please take a shower. You could even take them aside and say, hey man, take a shower, please. It's nothing bad to tell them something like that. I have actually met a person who had a disability in their throat, which means you would literally smell their stomach inside. Whenever he spoke to you, you smelled it. It was an awful smell, but with that you can deal, because the person cannot do something against it. There is nothing they can do. But when you come up and wear your t-shirt that you have probably for 2 weeks on now, that's to say you take a shower. And the next point is the lag. Sure, there's lag. There will always be lag online, of course. Especially when a player you have in Berlin, the next in Munich, and whatever, you will have small lag issues, but those lag issues are so small, they are not noted. They are pretty much non-existent. You have to have a specific etiquette behavior for online play, of course. You don't speak over everyone else. You wait your turn, and if people say at the same time something, with my group it's from top to bottom, simple and easy. It's something I talk with my players about. The feedback, probably the typical feedback from people that have not configured the microphones or their software, this echoing or this feedback noise that gets louder and louder. Yes, this is all the same decency again with take a shower. Take 10 minutes and configure your software, test it, and everyone will at least know one single person with which they can do that. or even ask someone for help. Even I, as a GM, when players come earlier and say, hey, I have a problem with my TeamSpeak, it seems always to echo, I can walk through with them. I know all the common problems. As I started with online game mastering, this was 15 years ago, there were lots of problems, but all those are solvable, mostly basic issues. The noise in the background, yes. I had a player who was constantly watching TV. That shows me something as a game master. They aren't interested in this group. They aren't interested in playing a serious game or a game at all. Sure, if you have this beer and pretzel groups like, oh, we're joking and nothing's too serious, we just sit together, that's fine, that's okay. Still, it's somewhat sad or bad, or however you want to call that, because you're not investing your time to the other players. So I kicked them out. I talked with them, hey, let it be. And they said, oh yeah, let it be. And then I heard football in the background. So, okay, you're not taking this seriously, goodbye. Dropped players. Yes, online is a huge problem with dropped players. That's why I invented, for me, myself, a filter system to filter out probably those players I don't want in my groups. It's just a simple put in some words they have to type or whatever, because I write all the informations for my group or adventures I'm looking for in one post. And that alone filters out the people that, I don't want to read that, I don't want it. So they never come to me and say, I want to sit on your table. Or people that fly over the text, it's interesting, cool, I want to in. And I say, nope, sorry, you're not the player I'm looking for. I took around 6 years inventing that method. I tried out so many. And it's with offline groups too. You have always that guy that never shows up, or you have always the guy that says last minute, oh, sorry, something else came up, I can't. Or someone that never could agree to any of the times you are suggesting and saying, hey, let's play there. No, I can't. I have a doctor's appointment. What? 9 p.m. in the evening? Oh, okay, sure. It's basically completely the same offline as online. All what you want is to have decent players, and you have to look for them and form communities around them. I have always players that return to me online as when they see, oh, this game master has a opening. I go to him because I do my thing, and I'm straight with all the guys and tell them what I want from them and what they get from me. Time, the most precious thing. And one thing I don't like is keep your camera on. There are people that are shy and don't like cameras, so don't keep your camera on. But if you communicate this in front or up front, it's better, because you say, "Hell, we are playing straight up with cameras. We want that, and we don't tolerate any players that don't use cameras." They know, and they can decide. It's not for me. I'm sorry, I'm out. It's all about talking up front with people. I mean, that's so completely normal around here. I never thought about anything else. But yeah, one thing I totally agree with, I want to see your eyes and facial expressions, because so much communication is done with the eyes and face. Yes, even I'm gesticulating, or yeah, here. It's natural to us, or most of us, because we're using our hands, our facial expressions, our eyes, and all that. And yes, I miss that online. I really miss it, but I don't want to force it. I have, when the pandemic is over, I will have again table groups, which I pretty much will enjoy. Mute yourself when not speaking. This is again something you have offline as online. Offline, it's a problem with two people chatting all the time while another one gets a spotlight. It's annoying. But what do? You talk with the people. Please be silent, be attentive, have attention. When others speak, listen to them. If you speak, you will be listened to. The same is online, of course. Basic rule, mute your mic. If someone cannot follow this rule, they're out. I had a screamer. I had literally a player who screams very loud. This is what my character would do. That's the most stupid thing I heard. This is what my character would do. Deal with it. And everyone in the group was pissed about that because it hurt our ears, not eyes. And well, the group disbanded because of other problems. No cell phones. I mean, what the fuck? I literally don't see people in my region having the cell phones constantly up. Is this seriously a problem? I mean, seriously? Those people are called zombies. Smartphone zombies. Yes, they exist, but you don't want those players in your groups. Really not. I mean, you invest time and you expect that from them too. They are not, so yeah, drop that player. But this is really, really funny for me because I never experienced such a thing here. What I find really, I made a comment here. I have a list and I wrote the fuck. Speak, roll, narrate. It's a concept I tried out in my early days. Everyone explains what they're doing, then they roll. And it's so much faster. No, it's completely the same. We had a rule that said, if you roll for an attack, roll your damage. At the same time, you always take your dice for your attack and for your damage in your hand and roll it on the table. Online, it's the same. If you make an attack and or you're a wizard. Online, it's much easier because usually you have automatisms where the attack saying instantly, yeah, you hit, didn't hit, or me being relatively reactive and saying instantaneously most of the time, oh yeah, that hit, yeah, make your damage. With wizards, in what I'm using, Foundry, when they put something up, when a monster has or an enemy has to roll any save, they roll their damage instantaneously. I don't know if the monster yet has it save, they get it or they don't. But I have the damage number already there, so it can work very, very quickly. So even offline, when people roll their attack and damage at once, there is no improvement of time and they can narrate the action at once. And it takes up the same time. It comes down to preference, what you and your group prefer. But it's nothing that's superior to any other technique. The only superiority is basically when you use the less time-consuming methods, like you have a player that rolls his attack. Did I hit with an 18? Yes, you hit with an 18. And they take the damage dice, they roll and say, I did 12 damage. The superiority comes in that when you roll your damage right with your attack. If you miss, you can ignore the damage dice. If you hit, you can instantly say, okay, 18 hit, 12 damage, go. I draw my sword and stroke it right from one side to another over the chest and put a little description in. It's the same time time consuming when you do say what you do, roll all at once and then narrate. because some actions build on others, and you can't do that when everyone rolls at once. At least I don't see it. But yeah, speak, roll, narrate. Still a fun thing. I tried it. I don't liked it. But it's very simple. You do you. If you have a group that likes it, play it. It's exactly how it is. The last thing is online groups should be around a shorter time because the attention span of people seems lower. Offline people don't drink much water and go take a toilet break. Do you think really we sit at a table for 5 or 6 hours and there are no breaks or even short breaks? The attention span is the same. You have to do the same techniques as offline. Every hour at least we have a 10-minute break. At least a 10-minute break and one major break, which is probably dinner or supper or whatever. So no, there isn't a short attention span. I have players being very, very highly attentive with 2.5 hours and a half-hour feedback. There is no short attention span. Ultimately, this whole topic of how to improve online Dungeons and Dragons is not about Dungeons and Dragons. It's about the players and, of course, the game masters. The behavior, the etiquette. I know the German word, but I don't know the English word. Right, cool. The behavior. It's not about Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder or the Black Eye or any system. It's about the player. And when you look at it that way, all this, what is coming up by Dungeon Craft, Draft was the tool. Okay, Dungeon Craft and Ginny D. What I saw so far, it has a much better perspective. All I can say to this is take your time, talk with your players up front before session 0. Session 0 is just for clarifying things. Because you don't say, okay, session 0, now we talk about what we are gonna play. You have something in mind as a game master, you put that down and say, okay, we're gonna play a World War II campaign. Everyone that comes to your table and say, I want to play with you, knows up front they're going to play a World War II campaign. And so you can also say, please, take a shower, aka configure your microphone. If you have problems, come to me. If you don't have a shower, I have a flat, come to me. You can shower in my place if you have such problems. I don't have anything against someone that doesn't shower or has the problems of not showering because whatever. I have a shower, come to me. Come an hour earlier. You can take a shower. It's all about decency, all about good players and good game masters. Yeah, that's it for this episode. And I hope you got some form of inspiration out of it, of course. Maybe some tips for yourself, like doing a feedback session after each gameplay session. It will help tremendously. Believe me, I do this since 20 years, since day one. I couldn't be a good game master if I didn't have feedback. And also, if you like this video, give it a like. If you don't like the video, give it a dislike. And if you don't want to miss any of my content coming up regularly, probably on a weekly schedule, I'm still figuring it out, leave a sub. Until then, I wish you the very best, have a good time, and join the hive. Bye.